Hey troops, Roxy here and welcome to Roxee Plays Games and welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 19. But before I get into the video, I want to do my usual thank you. So thank you for everyone who has liked my previous videos and thank you for everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Right, what is the plan? Well, for those of you that haven't watched my first video, which was a bit of a tour, I did briefly go through a rough plan of what I've got in mind of what I'm going to be doing for this series of videos, and I also went through showing you how to install mods into your mod folder, so that obviously you can do everything that I'm going to be doing, or if you want to do something slightly different with different mods. So if you haven't watched that one, I would definitely recommend that. Certainly for the adding the mods part, if you don't know what to do within that. I don't intend on going through showing you how to add mods, but I will be putting links in the description on any mods that I use going forwards. I will probably go through a bit of a talk through a plan again, certainly in this episode and maybe episodes going forwards, because plans may change as I'm going along. But just as a quick nutshell, I'm not going to give you a tour. This is the Valley, the Old Farm. For those of you that don't know, it is a modded map. It's not on the base game, and in my opinion, it's probably the best map. Well, it's certainly the best map that I've played on. I haven't seen any of the maps that are better than this. It's got everything that I like within the map. It looks old and rustic and used, and doesn't look too clinical. You know what I mean? The walls are dirty, the garage doors are dirty, they creak when you open them. So yeah, it's really cool. Um, One really cool feature that I like on this map is where the silo is. So you've got this silo here for unloading and for filling up your trailers, and it's built into the building. And one good factor with this, if we go up onto here, it does store 900,000 litres in this silo, whereas the placeable silos that you can put down only store 100 or 200,000 depending on which size you get. Um, so, plan going forward. Today, I'm going to show you how to get started with a map. Obviously, this map being the one that we're getting started with, um, and then the plan is I'm going to go through things like crop types and what you would need to harvest a field, cultivate it, seed it, fertilize, all those different elements to harvest in, and the kind of what I do is I put them into groups. So you've got one of them which will produce a straw swath, which can then be turned into bales. So that's wheat, barley, and oats, and then all your different crops. So I'll be putting them into groups. So they'll be in different videos, specialised crops like potatoes and sugar beets, sugar cane, stuff like that. And then obviously animals. So we've got chickens here, we've got sheep just over there, right in the background. We can just about see just there is cows. Um, there's a place for pigs. I don't think there's a place for horses, certainly that I'm not seeing, but we can place a horse ranch down anyway, so that's not a problem. So let's get into the video because that's probably enough talking. So like I said, the plan today is it's just going to be a getting started. So this one won't be too long, um, and most of you are going to probably know this anyway. But certainly if you haven't been on this map, it will give you a bit of a heads up. So first thing we need to do is we need to come to our map menu, and we need to, or what I need to do actually is I need to log in as admin. Otherwise, I can't purchase fields. So I'm just going to quickly do that, and then I shall bring you back. And as if by magic, I have logged on as admin. Sorry, I didn't get to show you the username and password. Um, you can have a little guess if you want. Right, so this is the map. I did briefly go over this in my first video. But one of the things I like about this is there's lots and lots of fields, and they're all different shapes and sizes. They're not all squares and rectangles, and it doesn't look boring. They're all, like I say, different shapes going on. Yes, there are some squares. Yes, there are some rectangles, but there's triangle shapes and there's odd like L shapes here and this funky looking shape and this kind of L bend shape and this funky one here. So there's lots of different shapes. Like I say, yes, there are some squares, there are some rectangles, but there's lots of other shapes going on. But also the terrain is uneven. They're not. It's not a complete. It's not Holland. It's not completely flat. There are hills. There are slopes and all that sort of stuff. So when you come to buying a field, you have to take that in consideration. Uh, can the tractor move on there? Can it pull equipment on there? You may then need to upgrade your tractor so that it has the power to be able to go up and down the hills. First thing we need to do, when we get into the game, if you're playing career mode, it's slightly different. Obviously, you're not going to have this element because you're going to start off with the farm if you choose that path. But when you're starting off in multiplayer, if you're wanting to play with friends and family, whoever creates the map will be the farm admin. Is that what it's called? Farm manager. And then obviously you've got an admin element to it which you log into, as you've just seen. But what we need to do is we need to purchase the farm because this is the only farm on here. We can place down farms, but we don't have that installed as a mod. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click on this. No, I need to click on lands first, then click on this, and as you can see, if I just move this out of the way a little bit, we've got a balance of £1 million in the bank, and this farm area, which includes Field 62, is just under £600,000. So we're already going to be using a big, massive chunk of our funds, 60% to be precise. But let's click buy because that's the only thing we can do. We can't do anything else otherwise. And that's ours. See, it's red, and the reason why it's red is because this is the one that we are running. So if I just click on this, I'm going to edit farm. I'm going to change the farm name to Roxee's Tutorial Farm and click confirm. And we'll keep it as red, I think. So let's go back. We don't want to leave the farm. So the farm is now ours. So we go on here, we can see now this field 62, which was part of the farm area, has now turned red, and that's showing us that we own this particular farm. Let's go and have a quick look, see what we've got on there. Hopefully it's going to be something that we can easily harvest without having to buy any specialist equipment. And it's barley, so that's good news. Barley is one of the simple grains that we can harvest, and the good thing about barley, as with wheat and oats, is when you harvest it you have the option to leave a straw swath, so it leaves straw on the ground which you can then collect either in a loading wagon so it's loose, or you can turn it into bales and then collect the bales and either use them for animals or sell them. So that's a really cool thing about barley. I will be doing a separate tutorial on, like I say, on the different types of crops and how to harvest it. And then obviously once we've harvested, we can then go through things like ploughing, cultivating, seeding, all those different elements. Right, so we've got a field, we've got a farm, we've got a farm location, we have storage. Some of you may be wondering, what are these icons going on? Right, so I have a mod called Global Company, and I will be going through that in more depth in future videos. But I'm going to put a link in the description. Global Company is kind of like, if you think of it as a bookcase, and then you've got lots of books that you put into the bookcase that work with that particular bookcase. So you've got Global Company as the main interface, and then you can add in more of the different parts of Global Company mods, like factories and buildings and all that sort of stuff that all get managed within Global Company. So to open up that, it's Control and G. This brings up Global Company, and this is what you will get if you just got Global Company. This is all you'll see. So you'll see the farm. You can kind of click on areas. I don't know why that's flashing, but there we go. You can click on buildings when they're here. If you've got a factory or building, whatever, you can click on here and open up the menu, and then you can see more details on that. So this is the interface management bit. Now I've got storages installed on the server, but I'm not going to be using them just yet, so that's showing up there. This is a really cool feature, field calculator. So again, this is part of Global Company. I'll put all the stuff that I'm using in this episode will be in the description below, and then as we go forward, any new ones I'll just put them in the description. But this is field calculator. Basically, it shows you all of the fields, and it shows you the size. So we've got field 62 that comes as part of the farm, and as you can see here, if we click on it, it's 0.62 hectares, and this is how many litres of whatever we're going to be using for the fertilisation. So we've got lime turned off. Matter of fact, we haven't got lime turned off because I haven't done that. I need to do that. But if we was going to put lime, it would be in there. You got your different types of fertilisation depending on what you want to use, and it shows you how many litres it requires. So for normal solid fertiliser is 132 litres, liquid fertiliser and herbicide is 179 litres, and manure, slurry and digestate is 8,863 litres. And then what we can also do is we can click on seed consume, and it'll show you how many seeds you require to plant in that particular field. So depending on, so like the field 62, if we wanted to plant barley, we would need 307 litres of barley to seed on that field. So that's a really cool feature. That's just some information that's going on. And this one here is another really cool thing. So activate cut to bales, not really relevant for us at the moment, but if you've got a solid bale, a square bale or a round bale, and you wanted to make it loose, if you have this selected, you can just click on it and it will turn the bale into loose. So you don't have to shred it. That's kind of a cool feature. Activate more trees, that's quite handy if you want to get into logging and your map is full of trees and you can't plant anymore. It'll have a certain limit, then you can't place anymore. So that's a really cool feature. Horse, if you have horses, to level them up, you've got to ride each individual horse for 5 minutes a day. Now, if you've got 20 horses, that, and obviously 5 minutes a day, that's going to take up quite a bit of time every single day just to get them leveled up. So this horse help, you can pay €300, $300. I don't know why it's in dollars, but everything else is in pounds. But $300 per horse per day to level them up. Show object info, that's a cool thing which we've got on. So when you hover over something, it'll give you some extra information. And we're going to have this activate extended placeable activated. So basically what that means is when you come to place an object in an area that you wouldn't normally be allowed to place it, this will allow you to place it. Now there are separate mods that you can download that will do the same thing, but this is within Global Company, so we're just going to activate that. And that's it. So that's the Global Company interface, and this is obviously the main part of it. So the two things that I'm really looking at this is the field sizes, and obviously this just gives us an overall map which we can just bring up by looking on here. The other thing that we've got that's Global Company is Global Company icons, and that gives us these coloured really cool looking icons, which just makes it a little bit easy to recognize what it is. Like you can see that is sugar beet. I'm guessing it's either sugar beet or potatoes. I'm thinking it's sugar beet. I'm thinking it's sugar beet, and that's, or is that carrots? Here, there we go. So that's let me get my little icon thing up. There's me giving you a really good example of what I can't work out that it is. Just got a little icon thing to my side here. So potatoes and sugar beet. Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking carrots. Is because we're thinking about getting carrots on our multiplayer farm that I'm on with Sims and stuff. It looks like a carrot, but that's actually sugar beet, and that's potatoes. So it's all of the base crops that you get. We've got eggs, we've got wool, you can see the little knitting needle, so slightly different icons, milk, and then you've got all these other icons here. So it just makes it a little bit easier to distinguish between them. However, you will obviously have to find out what they are initially. So that's what that is. That's the global company icons. Again, that will be in the description below. Info. If you look down the right hand side here, I've got the info mod that shows like the condition and the damage, the mass, who owns it on the vehicle. So that's a really good thing. Right, so we've got our map, we've got the mods installed that we want to start off with. There are plenty more mods that I'm going to be adding in throughout the series, but we're just going to keep the basics of global company, which is the main one that I need to have. And then alongside that, we've got field info, so we can have a look at the size of the fields, the info thing, the thing where we can place objects, and the icons. I think that's all I need to talk about in this particular episode. Right, off for that anyway. The next thing, so I got something on my tongue. The next thing that we need to talk about with getting started is fields and equipment. Now we've already got a field, as we've already said, with our farm, field 62. We know that's barley over there, and it's, what state is in? It is growing, isn't it? Yeah. So we can have a look at the map. Let's have a look, see what state it is. So if you got fruit types here, to zoom in a little bit so we can see that that's barley by the colour. If you're not sure as well, if you're not sure if it's barley, if you click on it, it'll go a different colour. So you can see everything that's barley is flashing. So that's a good way of seeing whether it is actually barley or not, or whatever crop that you're looking at. And we are currently in, it looks like it's in growth stage 3. That's definitely 4. So I think that's growth stage 3. So a little bit harder to distinguish between 3 and 2. But yeah, I think it's 3. But if not, it's 2, and then it's going to be 3. Soil composition says it needs ploughing. So, cool. So what do we need to start earning some money? Well, we're going to need to, if we're just going to use that field to begin with, bear in mind we've only got 400,000. We don't have a lot of money, and fields aren't cheap. Like if we wanted to buy field 91 as an example, which comes with 52, that is 429,000. So we don't even have enough to buy that. Field 83 and 61, we could buy that one, but it's 277,000. We're going to have pretty much no money. Yes, we can get a loan from the bank, but I'm going to try and do everything without getting loans unless I really, really need to. So things we're going to need. We're going to need a combine harvester. We've got one here. That comes with the map. So we can use that to harvest a field. It's got the correct header for barley, oats, wheat, all that sort of stuff. We need a tractor and a trailer for collecting the barley that obviously the harvester is going to collect. We've got one here. We're going to have to upgrade this trailer because it's a little bit small. It's only 4,000 litres capacity, so that's going to fill up in no time. And we've got a nice little fence here to begin with. Tractors we will upgrade over time to bigger, better tractors, but for now we'll just stick with what we got. What have we got? Yeah, we've got the trailer on the back of there. Over here we've got a plough. So we will be using that when we come to a ploughing video. And then we've got this nice little John Deere with the seeder, Amazon D830 seeder. So we've got the basics of what we need. We can harvest, we can collect the crops, we can seed and plough after. However, one thing that we don't have is something to collect the straw swath from the harvester. Now we don't have to lay it if we don't want to, but it's an extra income. As like I said, we can have it loose, and we can store it in the silo, or we can sell it, or we can turn it into bales, and then again we can store it somewhere in a garage, in a shed, or we can sell them. The downside with the bales is we're going to need 2 bits of equipment. We're going to need the baler to turn the swath into bales, and then we're going to need something to collect the bales. So it's a little bit of a longer process. So we are going to go for loose. We're going to store the loose straw in here, and then I could do one of two things. I can either sell it at a later date if I need the money, or I can keep it for when we have cows and we can use that straw for the cows. So all we need is a trailer to collect the straw swath. So let's go into our buying menu. We're going to go to trailers, we're going to go to loading wagons, which is here, and we're going to pick this first one up here. A forage wagon collects grass, hay or straw. It can also be filled with chaff. Yeah, so you've got hay, straw, or grass, hay, straw. I'm guessing the dark green is grass, the lighter green is hay, and the other one is straw. That is chaff, and that one is silage, with the little silage emblems either side. So we're going to buy this. Now, another mod that I have on is second-hand vehicles. So if we go to customize, this is where we can customize it. We've got the option to either buy it brand new or buy it second hand. If we buy it second hand, it's actually going to save us £9,200. It'll probably cost us £400 or £500 to repair it because it will be damaged when we buy it. However, it's a massive saving from the brand new, and it'll be dirty as well because it's been used. We could lease it if we wanted to, but we're going to be using this on a regular basis, so we might as well buy it. So we're going to click on buy, click yes, and OK. And then let's come out of this menu. So that now is everything we need. So that's just cost us £38,800, and that is up at the shop, which is all the way up here. There it is there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and pick up our trailer and bring it down here. So what I'll do for this episode, we'll take a little drive up there so you can see the route and a little bit of scenery on the way. But going forward, what I'm going to do is when it comes to buying stuff, is I will just buy it, bring it back, and then bring you back rather than driving up there and back every time. So let's get the engine started, and then we shall head to the shop. It's a nice little drive. We do have traffic on. I have traffic on just to give it a little bit of life. And I am on a multiplayer map. So you never know, I may have guest farmers joining me. Come over and help out here and there. We shall see. Right, let's step out before that car comes. This does work with track IR as well, which is really good. I don't have that switched on at the moment, but I prefer being in this view so you can get a bit of a better view of what's going on around the scenery. So as you can see, steep hills around, so a field like that will be quite hard to harvest. Lots and lots of trees, wooded areas for doing logging. That's going to come in the series, but it'll be a little bit later on. I want to concentrate more on the various different sort of elements of harvesting, seeding and whatnot, and also animals before we get into logging. But there are some really cool features in Global Company that will require some logging, so that's definitely going to be coming. But like I say, it'll be a little bit further down the line. But if anyone's interested in joining, not this farm, but joining a farm in multiplayer, we do have in the community of Sims and stuff, Steve has got his farm as well, which is it's the same map, and all of the mods that he's going to be using on there, I will be using as well, because I'm kind of trying to base my tutorials based on what we're doing in there. But if you are interested in joining in farming on multiplayer map, we've got probably 6 or 7 active players. Then I shall put a link in the description to Steve's channel, so you can go and check his live Twitch out and his YouTube videos. and you'll have a link to Discord, and obviously you can join the community, get involved, and then you'll be able to join the multiplayer map. A few little things that you need to obviously do before that, but yeah, providing you're reasonably sensible and happy to get involved with what's going on, then you'll be more than welcome to join us. But on this map I won't be having this as a multiplayer map. This is going to be a tutorial map, but like I say, I might have the odd guest here and there joining in if I'm doing something that requires someone's help. I might invite some of my friends along to do a video with me. But yeah, like I say, all the links to the mods, links to Steve's channel, which I would definitely recommend heading over there if you aren't already part of his community. Check his channel out. Okay, so we're going to head back now, and then we'll get everything ready for our first harvest. I'm not going to do a harvest in this video because I want to try and keep them reasonably short, you know, as short as I possibly can. The shorter the better in my opinion, because then that way you're not going to get too bored with one thing. So like when it comes to harvesting, I'm not going to sit here on the whole video just doing the whole field. 62 probably won't be too bad because it's only a small one, but certainly the bigger fields I'll show you a little bit, and then I'll kind of cut the video until we get towards the end. I'm not going to do any crazy time lapses just because I don't know how to. I'm sure it's probably easy, but I just haven't got to that stage of editing videos. It's easier for me to just hit the pause button. There's a little bit of traffic on the road. I like a little bit of life in a map, but some maps are just a little bit too stupid, and the vehicles sometimes can be annoying because they'll crash into one another and then they'll be stuck and you can't get past them. So then you end up having to turn it off and turn it back on again, so it can be a bit of a pain. I haven't had that issue on this map so far. So you can see hills like this on the main road I'm struggling to go up, so imagine if I was on the grass, imagine if it was wet, you know, wheels are going to slip, and if I've got heavy equipment on the back I'm going to really struggle. So you have to be very mindful of what fields you purchase. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to park this up on the right hand side because this is going to be the last vehicle that we use as part of the harvest. So I'm just going to park this baby up over here. Now what I would normally do is when I'm playing on my own, or if I'm in our main multiplayer map, is obviously things will be parked up when it's not being used. Did I leave the lights on? Yes I did. But obviously for the purpose of these tutorials I may leave stuff lying around, but I'm going to try and keep it as tidy as I can. So first thing we're going to be using is the harvester. So we just need to get the header connected. So it's only a small header, and like I say, as we progress through the series we'll be upgrading the harvester to bigger ones and getting bigger headers, but we will have to make do with what we have for now. So this baby is going to be getting lined up, ready to go here. We'll turn the engine off, save some fuel. So as you can see it's still growing, so we have got a little bit of time to wait until that is ready. Following, well not so much following, but certainly going to be parked in a useful spot is going to be the trailer. So let's get this bad boy connected up and engine started. Now what we need to do is we need to upgrade this trailer, because like I say, this is 4,000 litres, which is going to be nothing. So we're going to upgrade this to 12,000 litres at the repair shop here. Jump out, come around the corner to here, and then we can customize and capacity. So we don't want bale, we want 12,000 litres. So that's going to cost us 4,000 to upgrade. That's certainly going to be a lot cheaper than buying a another bigger trailer when we can just use this one. And the good thing is, once you've upgraded it, if you want to upgrade it back to what it was, it doesn't cost you anything. If I want, matter of fact, it doesn't cost me anything to upgrade on all of them because I've gone for the most expensive bit. So I can change it back to any of these other configurations and it's not going to cost me a single penny. So that's really cool. Right, so this is going to, oh, need to connect you back up again. So this guy will need to be in a position to take the straw swath, not the straw swath, sorry, the barley from the harvester. So I'm just going to park him kind of here for now. I may need to adjust where he is. But idea is I want to drive past with the combine, stick the arm out to unload the barley. And that is pretty much us ready to go. So let's say we're going to harvest. When that's full, empty it in a trailer, carry on harvesting. Hopefully we can get the whole, matter of fact, that won't tell me how many litres of barley I'm going to get from this. It only tells me how many litres of what's the word, seeds. And the thing as well, what's going to affect how much we get is the fertilisation state. And as you can see, it is actually fertilised to 100%. So we're going to get maximum amount of crops from this, which is really good, provided we don't damage it. And then once we've done all of that, we can then come along with this baby. I'll just move him a little bit closer. We can come along with this and pick up the straw swath, which we're going to store in the silo. Right, so that's pretty much it. I'm just going to go through one last little bit, and that's settings. So you can see what settings I'm actually going to be using for the purpose of this tutorial, which may change as we go along. So if we come along to game settings first, let's change the name to Roxee's Tutorials. I've done it with an extra E because I've got another save with 2 E's, so I don't want to get them mixed up. So we've got 3 E's. Timescale I've got on 5 times at the moment because I just want to get those crops grown. But generally when I'm doing bits and pieces, I'll turn this down to real time. But when it comes to waiting for stuff, you want it a little bit quicker. Most of it's on default, traffic's on, dirt is normal. I like to have automatic engine start and stop go braking off. So basically that means that when you jump out of the vehicle, the engine will be on unless you turn it off. It won't start when you jump it in, you have to start the engine. So I like that function, and also the stop go. So basically what that means with the stop go, if I'm driving forwards and I hit the brakes, it won't automatically start reversing. It's just stopped. I have to let go of the brakes and then I can reverse. Same with going forwards. Hold the accelerator down, it stopped the vehicle, but it hasn't made it go forwards. I have to let go and then I can go forwards. So I prefer that method. Especially like when you're using front loaders or forklifts or something like that. It can be a pain when you're trying to be a bit precise with moving around and then suddenly you zip forward when you just want to stop, or backwards when you want to stop. Fuel usage, default, all of these are just standard. Plant growth is normal. What I have got is I've got plant withering off. I've got periodic ploughing off, lime required off, and weeds off. Just to make the tutorial series a little bit easier, so I don't have to worry about all of these. I will, as we get into more depth and we've kind of got all of the basics out of the way, I'll add in things like periodic ploughing. So now and again we're going to have to plough like after every third harvest. We will add in lime, so we need to do that as part of the getting the better, getting more crops. Adding weeds in, so we have to do the de-weeding and stuff like that. But they will come later on. But for now, that's the main settings. As far as the general settings, these are just, I haven't even touched these, I don't think. Obviously, for those of you that live in different countries, you can change your dollars or pounds. Obviously, I'm in the UK, so that is on pounds. And I think that is pretty much it for the settings. So that is my getting started, how to getting started, if you want to call it that, getting started tutorial. We bought a farm. Wrong button. What did I just? Oh, what did I just buy then? I just bought something and I didn't want to. Did I? Did I buy something? Oh dear, what have I just done? Garage. Garage. No, it didn't. What just cost me 4,000 then? Or was that just a delay from something happening? Got nothing leased. That's all the vehicles I started off with. The only thing I've bought is this, which costs 27. Oh, you know what that was? That was me upgrading the trailer. That was a bit delayed, wasn't it? Why didn't that do it straight away? You can look in finances. It'll show you what's going on. So today, new vehicles, land purchase. Yeah. So that 4,000 was me upgrading the trailer, which just was a bit delayed showing me. That confused me then. Yeah, so like I say, sorry, I went off on a tangent then because I got confused with what was going on. We have bought our farm, which comes with a field. We have bought a loading trailer or forage wagon, which some people will call it. I call it the sucky up trailer because that's what it does. It sucks up stuff. But yeah, we bought one of them. And also briefly went over the mods that I'm using. So we've got Global Company, which is the main interface for everything else that we're going to add into this. We have got field calculator, so I can see the size of the fields and how much various different things like fertilizer or seeds that we will require for that particular field. So that's a really cool feature. We have got our global company icons, which you can see at the top of the screen, which I really like. Some of them I'm still not quite sure what they are, but most of them that looks like a palm tree thing. Yeah, some of them I'm going to have to still work out. We can see that's cotton. We've found out that that's sugar beet and potatoes, although that does look like carrots. So when we eventually get carrots on the farm, which are going to require a little bit of modding, it'll be interesting to see what the icon is for that. But we've got sweet corn, soybean, sunflower, and then we've got the wheat, barley, oats, and canola. And I think that's most of it. Oh, and the final one is the info mod, so that we get the extra little bits of information on vehicles. So that's it for this episode. Like I say, a reasonably short one, around about half an hour or so. Next episode, we are going to be harvesting field 62. So it's going to be a straightforward one. And because it's barley, that's going to give us some extra things to do after we've done the harvest. So what we're going to do is we're going to harvest the field, loading it into the trailer, emptying the trailer out. We're going to be sucking up all of the straw swath that we're going to leave behind, and we're going to store that in the silo in the building over there. That'll be one episode, so that won't be too long. So I'll probably harvest the whole field because it's only a small one. And then the episode after that, we're going to go through seeding, cultivating, fertilizing, and seeding. which will we can do on this. Now it won't need cultivating because you only need to cultivate after you've done like potato, sugar beet, and all that sort of stuff. So I may end up for that episode, I may leave off to cultivate and doing it on an episode where we actually need to cultivate. And we've got turned off periodic ploughing, so we don't need to plough. So we may end up just doing fertilizing and seeding. But like I say, I'm going to go through that in an episode. I'm not going to go into too much detail now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to love you and leave you, and I shall see you for the next episode where we're going to get that field sorted out. So thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you soon. Goodbye.